Hey guys, welcome to Rihanna's Lens, where I interact with you about the components in the STEM field and introduce you to fascinating people who passionately inhabit the scientific and technical frontiers of our society. My name is Rihanna Malhotra and I'm absolutely elated to share this podcast with all of you. On this episode, I'm joined by a guest who's a mechanical engineering student. She also has a robotics startup where her and her team developed 3D printed, well-priced but functional robot arms. She's also actively interested in the STEM fields and encourages more people to join these fields. I'm so glad to welcome and introduce Alexa Vaz. Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to begin our discussion.
Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for having me.
So I know mechanical engineering is one field that is so interesting. When you learn that course, you can basically make anything in that sense. So what exactly is it that motivated you to become a mechanical engineer?
Actually, I came from an engineer family. My dad is also a mechanical engineer. My grandfather is also a mechanical engineer, so I didn't had to hesitate what to choose for my career. And actually, I really love engineering because you can create everything out of nothing, and I think it's like magic, and I love that feeling. I love to create things. So yeah, that's why I choose mechanical engineering. And also I think mechanical engineering is the basic engineering. I mean, with this degree, I can work in the automotive industry, in the space industry. I can work with robots. I can write simulations, programs. I can design CAD models or whatever I want. So I think it's the basic engineer. So I think that's why it's also a great career opportunity.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. With one field, you can branch out to so many other things. And as you said, it's like magic. I also think that engineers are wizards and witches, to be honest.
Yes.
Can you describe your educational journey that got you here to become a mechanical engineer?
Yeah. At high school, I went to a language preparatory class. I learned German. German is my second language, and English is only the third. Maybe you can hear it. But I knew that I want to be an engineer, so I took advanced mathematics classes and advanced physics and IT classes. And after that, I went to the University of Győr. In Hungary, we call it István Széchenyi University. István Széchenyi was the greatest Hungarian, and it's a technical university, and I will graduate this fall. So I really can't wait to become an engineer.
Right. So that has been a whole journey that got you to become a mechanical engineer. But now, while being a mechanical engineering student, you also have your own startup, which is based on robotics. So how has your experience been there so far?
It's a longer story, but I started this as a research when I was in high school, and I was working on a cheap robotic arm, and I did my research at Péter Pázmány Catholic University. And then when I came to my university, I wanted to continue this project as a mechanical engineering student, not a high school student. So I was thinking, what can I do? And the solution was making a startup. So I asked my friends that if they want to join me, and two of them joined me, and we started this in 2019. And that year we also won the Social Impact Award, which was the first step to us to be a real startup. And now we are 7, and we are students from the University of Győr. And I think it was a thing out of my comfort zone. Like I don't know nothing about business, and I don't know a lot of things. And suddenly I needed to know all of them. So it was really, really hard, but we got a real good mentor, Polly Molnar, who helped us from the business side. And I can say I learned a lot about leading a team, and I gained leadership skills, and I also learned professional skills. Like now I think I'm better at 3D printing, and I think my 3D modeling skills were improved. So yeah, but it's still hard, and COVID-19 happened, and we were planning to work together with hospitals, and we just couldn't. So yeah, it was a big challenge, and we also had to do our things online. Before this pandemic, we worked together in our little workshop. We sat together, and we were making things like modeling or printing or prototyping or everything. And now we just couldn't be here because everybody needed to go home, and we had online classes. So yeah, it was like a total mess. But I think we figured it out how to work together online. So yeah, we actually learned a lot.
Yeah, your whole journey from the scratch to now, it's such a great, it must be such a great experience for you. And also you're still learning. So I think that's a really essential key, because no matter how old you are or how young you are, you'll always keep learning. So I think that's great.
Thanks.
And also, what exactly is it that brought you to closer to robots? Like, what exactly is it that fascinated you to do a startup in robotics?
When I was a child, I always watched Discovery Channel, and there was a series called How It's Made. And you could watch what happens inside of an automotive industry. And these industrial robots were working on car parts, and I was just fascinated watching them. Like, they are moving perfectly together, and they are actually cute, and they are like it's like dancing. So I just loved it. And when I was doing my summer job before university, I worked at my dad's company, and I was also I was going down to the construction site, and I was watching these cute industrial robots. So I don't know, maybe I was growing up with this, and I always wanted to work with robots, and now actually that's what I'm doing, because I'm working as a simulations engineering intern at Audi Hungaria, and I'm also leading my startup. So yeah.
Yeah, I really think that since you were surrounded with so many mechanical engineers in your house, that really got you into that environment, that you could work with equipment, and you could also do an internship, how you mentioned, in your dad's firm, so that you got more experience. So yeah, I think things must be easier for you in university, is it?
Yeah, actually. And I'm also writing now my thesis. In Hungary, we have to write a thesis before we finish our studies. And my professor is also working at the automotive industry. So it's all coming together.
And now, as a mechanical engineer, are you working on any big projects that you can talk about?
Yeah, actually, but I'm working on more projects that I can talk about because industrial secrets and stuff. So yeah, but we are developing our prosthetic arm, and it's still in development. So I think it's one of my biggest projects. And we also started to develop a DIY robotic arm for children who want a cool robotic arm but don't need a prosthetic arm. So it will be for them. And it's also a really big project because actually we are working on a toy and we don't know anything about toy industry. So I would say it's also a big project. And actually, I'm working on my car. I just bought a car, and I need some things to improve on it. So I'm working on it, and it's still a big project because I'm not a vehicle engineering student, and yeah, it's kind of hard, but I will figure it out.
Yeah, I really think the robotic arms that you're working on for as toys and even as prosthetic arms for people that are clinically challenged, I think that's really important, and you're in a way helping those kids that can't really move around as much. So that's really awesome to hear. Um, are you thinking of working on any other prosthetics as well, other than arms, like legs, for example?
No. I don't think so because prosthetic legs are so cool that they actually don't need an improvement, and you can get learning prosthetics, learning prosthetic legs. But when you want a prosthetic arm, there are no learning prosthetics. So that's why we are doing this whole startup, because we don't want a fancy, fully functional prosthetic arm. We want a learning prosthetic arm, so children can learn how to use one, and just that feeling that they have another arm. Yeah, and we are also planning to make a physiotherapy program with our prosthetics. So yeah, I want to stay at prosthetic arms.
Wow, that's really interesting that you're also going into physiotherapy. It really helps people that are challenged. So kudos to you. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Now robots, they are beneficial to us, but also as we're slowly progressing into developing technology, I think robots will someday outsmart us. What do you think about that?
One day they might be, but it will not happen in maybe 200 years, I guess. And I hope. Actually, we were working on a project at Audi where we wanted to replace humans with robots, but we just can't because, we can catch things, grab things, and with our hands, and nothing will be like a human hand. So you can't replace a human. And maybe they will outsmart us, but they I mean, a human can be replaced in so many fields. So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. There are some fields that can make humanity redundant, but then there are others that robots will depend on. So let's see how that
Yeah,
goes.
exactly.
Hopefully not um, like in the current state. So hopefully 200 years. Let's just hope for that.
Yeah, and we are the ones who are writing the programs to the robots, and not. I mean, it's really scary to think about that robots will be able to write each other's program, but yeah, as I said, it won't happen in 100 years or 200. I hope.
Yeah, me too. I completely agree. Now let's move on to the STEM field, since I hear you're also very interested about that. So why do you think more people and more women, and especially, should join these fields? Why should there be more diversity in the STEM fields?
Good question. I had a TEDx talk about this topic, and I think we need more women in STEM fields because actually we live in a male-centered world. Everything is made for males, and it's just not good because when I drive a car, or when I'm buying a phone or a new watch, or everything that is called unisex, it's just not, because everything is designed for the average male. For example, I can't drive these big SUVs because I just can't reach the wheel correctly. So I'm sitting in front of the cockpit, and it's just not good, because when I have a crash, I will definitely die, because this car is just not designed for my sorry, I had 3 meetings today in German, and
It's not a problem.
I just find English word size. Okay. So it's not designed my size. So yeah, that's a big problem. And also, for example, my phone. I love that example because my hands are always hurting, because I can't hold my phone actually, and it hurts me to actually watch a video, or just scroll through Facebook, because it was designed for bigger hands. So yeah, that's why I think we need more women, because if there were more women engineers or developers or testers, these problems will came out, and a female engineer or designer would say that, okay, but it's not good for us. So yeah, and I hope it will change soon, because as I mentioned, it can cost lives. So that's really not a good thing.
Yeah, I really hope so too, that more women join the STEM fields. And especially in the engineering field, I know that's a very male dominated field. So has that been a challenge for you?
Yeah. At the office, I have only one female colleague. And when I started university, I had to make, how can I say? We had to do a ground training, and we had to learn things like how to write a CNC program, or how to use the turning machine, or something. And there was a teacher who just said that in the first 5 minutes that my second name is Jofi, and she said, Jofika, I think you never hold a screwdriver. And I was just like sitting there like, what? You don't even know me. And yeah, and I got really angry about it, that he thinks that I don't know nothing, and he was always like saying to me that I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, that's not good, and the other guys were doing also what I was doing. So yeah, and I also get compliments that at the factory, that you look so good, and I just don't want that. So yeah, it's harder, but I hope people will learn how to behave with women, and it will get better.
Yeah, that's really shocking to hear. I hope it changes. And it's the 21st century, and still people are like this. It really should change.
Yeah, exactly.
Lastly, to conclude this interview, is there any advice that you would like to give to any engineers that would like to come in this field?
Yeah, I would say never give up, because it sounds like a cliche, but it's not. If you are thinking that about your future, that it's really good. If you get through engineering school, the world will open to you, and you can do anything you want. Like, as I mentioned before, engineering is like magic, and you can create everything out of nothing. And this feeling, if you think about it, it will help you through your exam period, and yeah, that kept me alive through engineering school, because sometimes it's really hard. So really never give up, because we need engineers, we need good engineers who love what they are doing. And yeah, maybe that's all.
Yeah, that's some really great advice. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming on and taking out some time to interact with me. I had a really great time discussing mechanical engineering with you, and I'm sure even the audience had a great time listening to it. To let all of you know, the podcast is now available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, RadioPublic, Breaker, and PocketCast. Make sure you subscribe to all listening platforms and stay tuned for more. Alexa, is there anything you'd like to say before we leave?
No, maybe that. Sorry for my English.
No, not at all. I had a great discussion with you. It was great to hear your insights, especially. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.